Planet Vero Studios, brought to you by Evergreen Media, creating cohesive marketing campaigns. Evergreen Media in Vero Beach.
Cindy Grossman. New York City born and raised, luxury retail management was her game. Saks Fifth Avenue and Nordstrom were her jewelry playgrounds. Had enough at 38, fled to Miami, where Neiman Marcus Bal Harbour found her. Recruited to Mont Blanc, where her regional position challenged her. Met her husband 4 years ago, and Brevard County she did go. COVID hit, she needed a new career fit. Age-defying beauty with Mary Kay, she did say. And now, here's Cindy Grossman.
Hello, 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 and welcome to Mesmerize the Mirror at Any Age. Mitch, thanks so much for coming back.
Hello, hello, hello to you.
Jesse, thanks for being here and keeping us on our toes.
Hello.
So this is part 2. Hopefully you listened in to part 1 with Madeline Saunders. Now we're with Clint Saunders, and they are definitely the dynamic duo, I have to say. Very professional. I feel like really making a difference in the world we live in today. So let me tell you about Clint. Clint Saunders is the owner and founder of GAIA Home, a solar energy company servicing Brevard County, Indian River County, and the surrounding areas. Clint grew up on a farm and grew to love and enjoy the outdoors. He got into the solar industry in the first place because of his passion for nature. He fell in love with solar energy and saw an even bigger vision around self-sustainability and energy independence, and realized that solar energy is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to sustainable living. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yes, yes. So solar energy, what's the first thing you think of when you think of solar energy, Mitch?
The sun.
Sun. Okay, is that a good answer?
That's the best answer there is.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Now I know Gaia. We always say, well, Gaia. What? So tell us what that means to you, or in general.
Yeah. So Gaia is another word for Mother Earth, and when I was looking for a name for my my company, and building our foundation within the solar industry, I wanted it to be all encompassing, because solar really is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to renewable energy. You have wind energy, geothermal energy, hydro energy, and then there's ways to, obtain your own drinking water, grow your own produce. So, Gaia Home really to me is just that. I wanted it to be a company that is able to help advance civilization, because I think we're trying to reach outward into space, and because I wouldn't say everyone, but there are groups that believe that the Earth is scarce, and I think it depends on what you were talking about when you say the Earth is scarce. There are so many different things that we can do to increase that abundance and being more resourceful with the earth and the renewable energies that we have. And that's just kind of in a nutshell, that's the idea of Gaia Home.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now, growing up on a farm, did you have any type of solar energy on the farm?
We did not have any solar energy, but we, grew up the farm. We raised cattle. We had corn, soybeans, and one thing that kind of got me so close to nature, and why I really kind of wanted to name it Gaia and, again, Mother Earth, is because I used to go out with my brothers, and my dad would take us out into a freshly plowed field, and we would just go out there, and we weren't just walking through the field. We were looking for arrowheads, Indian relics that are 300, 400,000 years old.
Wow.
And we would literally be spaced out by 5 to 15 feet. And we'd be just looking down at the dirt, looking for a little tip sticking out of the ground. And we'd be like, if we found one, it was just the most exhilarating thing to find a relic that was hundreds of years old.
On your own property like that. That's wild.
Yep, on our own property, some neighboring farms that we would get permission to go on their fields.
Wow.
And that exhilaration is really what I want people to feel when they are living off the earth,
Yeah.
like 100% self-sustainable.
Natural resources. Absolutely. So what is it? How do you approach someone about changing over to solar energy?
So I think the first thing we do is if they have an electric bill and they own their home, then they can go solar. It's in a sense there are a lot of misconception of solar, like that it doesn't make sense and that it's a scam, and you just really have to realize that it's math and science. The sun rises and sets every day, and we want to help people understand that with the sun you can produce all of your power.
It's amazing. It really is amazing. So do you tend to say somebody with a higher electric bill is your typical client, or maybe not?
Yeah, so what you're doing is you're replacing your electric bill with a solar payment, and you still pay like a minimum charge to the power company, and depending on what power company it is, that minimum charge is based off of that. But depending on how much power on the homeowner's roof or a ground mount system or a carport or a pergola, wherever they decide to put the solar, we can tell how much of their power is going to be produced from their property. And then that's going to tell us if they only are paying a minimum charge to the power company, or if they're paying still $50, $60, $70 to the power company, along with their solar payment.
I know we were up in New York, and there are fields and fields and fields of solar panels. So everybody is, and you think, oh, it has to be in a warm climate. Absolutely not. Like you said, the sun rises, the sun sets, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
Sunrise,
anywhere.
sunset.
Exactly. Thank you. So anywhere solar can be used. I know you have a connection that you do it in different states as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can actually, there's people doing solar in all 50 states.
Wow.
And like, for example, Florida has about 48, 49 more sunny days than Ohio. So to kind of give someone a little bit of knowledge on what kind of difference that makes, would be someone in Florida would maybe need only like 4 to 8 less panels to produce the same amount of power as someone in Ohio. And it could be only 2 panels. It all depends, again, how much power that person's using and how much power they want to be able to produce on their property.
Right. Now you do the solar panels, but you also do these great systems in case, like generators, something like that, right?
We also work with the Generac generators, and then also backup batteries for the solar systems.
Right. And now it seems I know where we live, everybody drives his car. What's a Tesla?
Electronic.
Teslas, right?
EVs.
Everybody has a Tesla. And of course that you need special power for, and we were recently talking to somebody and they said, oh yeah, we bought a Tesla, but now my electric bill went up because I have to charge the car. So, I mean, that's a good client for you for solar.
Absolutely, yeah. We actually do EV chargers as well.
Oh, okay.
And that's really like the vision of the company, and I see the whole world going in this direction, is that true sustainability, where it's what true energy independence is. It's not just producing your own power. You have to store your power, and then you have to disseminate that power as well. Disseminate would be, putting it into things like, those electric lawnmowers. There's electric vehicles.
Right.
There's electric chainsaws now. Everything's going electric.
Right.
So if you can produce your electricity on your property, that's the first step in energy independence. And then I also believe energy is also what we put into our bodies, food, water.
Right.
And if you can produce all of that on your home, you are now energy independent. You're not dependent upon someone else for the resources that you need to survive.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we certainly are thinking about it for our home because, it just seems like the best idea. I mean, if you're going to be in your home for a certain period of time, right? I think you explained this to us. It makes sense a certain amount of time, right?
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah. So there's a lot of different beliefs out there about how long you need to be in a home for it to make sense.
Right.
You know, someone that's, you know, just trying to make a penny, you know, and they'll say it makes sense just being there for a year or two. You know, I really want it. I believe in the idea of solar and taking your power back, owning your power, and instead of renting it from the power company or the utility provider, whoever it may be. And when you do that, that's true protection.
Yeah. And I think incredible independence that you have.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yep.
We're going to take a quick break and we will be back with Clint talking about solar. It's all about the sun.
Need an enlightening pick-me-up? Visit Kristen and Cindy at Skinergy to energize your skin and keep it looking fabulous forever. Kristen can help with hair removal, sugaring to keep your whole body smooth and conditioned. Kristen will help you refresh and defend your skin while giving you a customized facial. Cindy helps skinergize and get you camera ready for your everyday look or special occasion. Visit Kristen and Cindy at Skinergy. Find them on Facebook under the Skinergy Squad.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats and chairs, including lots of slipcover styles from Universal, Four Seasons, and Capri. We also have a gallery of Tommy Bahama and Lexington with styles designed for a relaxed approach to the finer things in life. We're having a summer sale with lots of great markdowns, including all in-stock Lloyd Flanders 25% off. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in Vero Beach, next to Planet Fitness. Family owned and operated since 1991. Don't forget to visit our outlet and sales store directly across the street and visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Sunshine Furniture brightens up your day. Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Have a sunshine day. Sunshine Furniture.
The law offices of Goldman, Monahan, Tucker, and Bettine is here to help you with your personal legal challenges, business needs, and real estate matters. Since 1984, we have assisted countless numbers of Florida individuals and businesses with their legal issues, from trusts and estates, wills, real estate, and civil or criminal litigation. We pride ourselves on maintaining lifelong client relationships and would appreciate the opportunity to assist you and your family as well. Please call 321-639-1320 for further information on the law offices of Goldman, Monahan, Tucker, and Bettine. A non-attorney spokesman.
And we are back with Clint Saunders talking about solar and GAIA homes. So now, you know, there's a lot of misconceptions about solar, and you did touch upon that. But what about adding value to your home? Do you feel like the solar can add value to someone's home?
Yes, absolutely. So, you know, there's a lot of studies out there. There's the National Appraisal Journal. It's a huge study. The Zillow did a study they basically found that it's going to add at least 5% to the value of the home. The Berkeley National Laboratory did a big study out in California, and it's really the warranty. You know, the systems are warranted for 25 to 30 years. They're built to last 40 to 50 years these days. And with that being said, if someone buys the home 5 or 10 years from now, and there's still 15 years left on the warranty, on a 25-year warranty, then that person purchasing the home can be reassured that they are going to have 15 years of their bills still being taken care of from their solar system, at least. And then you're looking at maybe 25, 30 more years of those bills being replaced.
Yeah, and the warranty does transfer over.
It does.
Oh,
yes.
That's good. That's very important. And I believe you had a question, Mitch?
Well, I had a few questions, if I may.
Oh, please, of course.
So, you spoke to us about maybe putting a solar system in our house, at our house, and a few things I thought were interesting. The average payback period. I think that's about 7 years. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, it is. I think for for your guys's, for your guys' situation, it all depends on the situation, and the higher the bill is, then we're looking at that lower end of 7 years, and then, maybe 10, 11 years tops.
So if the bigger the house, the quicker the payback, I suppose.
Exactly. And the bigger the house and the higher the electric bill is, then someone may start seeing some really big savings right away on their solar payment.
I was a little surprised to learn about the tax savings. Can you describe that and how that helps set off as an offset to the price of a system?
Definitely. So, disclaimer, I'm not a tax professional, but I always advise all of my clients to definitely make sure that they reach out to their tax professional to make sure that what their tax liability is. But to answer your question, Mitch, it's a great question. I think it's one of the biggest reasons why we see so many people going solar during this time, and it's a 30% tax credit. So that means whatever the total contract price is, if someone's financing it or paying cash, then 30% of that cost, they can get a credit from the government in the form of a check from that 30%.
Yeah, and the difference between, there is a significant difference between a tax deduction of 30% versus a tax credit, because a tax credit is dollar for dollar against any tax liability that you owe.
Right.
So if you owe $10,000 and you get a $30,000 credit, you get $20,000 back as a tax refund from the IRS.
Wow.
So it's significant.
That's fantastic.
As opposed to just a deduction.
Right.
How does it work? Does the system have to be mounted on the roof? Can it be mounted on the ground?
Yeah, so at GAIA Home, we actually have the ability to install on the ground, do ground mounts. We can do, most of our installs happen on the roof, but obviously you do have homeowners who are a little hesitant on installing a solar system on their roof. So what they'll do is they'll look at other options, and we have the ground mount as another option. And then two other options would be doing a pergola and putting the solar on a pergola, and also a carport. And I kind of want to kind of circle back to the tax credit again real quick. I think that's real important to understand that you do have to pay federal income taxes to be able to get a credit back. And within our company, we want to be an ethical company out there and actually explain how that tax credit works, because there's a lot of companies that are going out there and they're selling solar and they're just telling someone, hey, you're going to get 30% off your system. And they're not even getting into the details of how it works or if that person will really get it back. And, when I founded GAIA Home, I wanted to create a company that is truly, giving people, being 100% transparent with how solar works and the benefits of going solar and how you can take advantage of some of those benefits.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you make that presentation very well. And if people listen and are interested, they'll find that to be the case. What about, unfortunately now we're approaching, or actually we're in hurricane season. What has been your experience with the system and its sustainability after and during hurricanes and high winds and events such as that, both the roof mounted and the ground mounted systems?
So, for those higher winds and those times of the year, we actually have to when we do the permitting process, and there's different codes and policies in different jurisdictions throughout the state of Florida because of the amount of high winds that we have in the state. And all the permits, when we do that, all the codes are 100. They have to be rated for 150 to 160 mile per hour winds. And the racking that is installed with the ground mounts and the roof mounts, that racking and the aluminum, the steel that is used for the racking has to be rated for those wind speeds as well. And then they're also rated for 140 mile per hour hail. The panels themselves are. And, you know, when someone's looking at possibly going with a ground mount or a pergola or a carport, they also have to understand that those, you know, those structures that the panels are going on also have to be engineered for those high speeds as well.
Now, what kind of maintenance is required for the systems? Is there annual maintenance? And how do you know if the system's actually working well as the homeowner?
Yeah, hey, that is a great question. Most systems in 2023, people have what's called a monitoring system. They'll actually get an app where they can track what the system is producing on a day-to-day basis. And the maintenance really would be, and by the way, they can also get a push notification when, you know, a panel's not producing what it should be or an inverter's gone bad. They'll get a notification on their phone from the app that's saying that, hey, something's going wrong. Most solar companies will also get that. So we'll actually be able to see that something's gone wrong or not working. As for the, can you repeat the second part of that question, Mitch?
The maintenance, does it require like a 6-month maintenance, a yearly? It doesn't sound like it does because you're constantly monitoring it. So you yourself know, and if one of the panels isn't working, you call the company and they come and they check it out and make sure everything's okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much. And then one thing that you want to look for is dust buildup. So, you know, maybe every couple years you might need to get up there, rinse it off with a hose. Pollen situations, maybe there's construction going on in the neighborhood and a bunch of dozers creating a bunch of dust. You can actually see it if it's really bad. You can see the panel's efficiency drop by 20-30%. And then you can literally, and I know this from a colleague I used to work with about 3 years ago. He had solar on his own home and he saw the efficiency drop from construction in the neighborhood. He went out with a hose, sprayed it off, and instantly that same day he saw all the panels pick back up at full efficiency. So that's
all you have to do.
There you go. See?
Very little. It should be very little.
And one thing I want to say, I know someone who was putting on a new roof and decided to do the roof and the solar panels. And recently, a couple of months ago, there was a huge hailstorm in Brevard. Her roof was fine. Everybody else in the neighborhood's roof was damaged. So I almost feel like it's like an extra protection, you know, like a special cover. So, you know, something to think about as well. I believe in solar. I think it's something everyone should look into. And of course, we know your presentation is fantastic and we're encouraging people to get in touch with you. So how could they get in touch with you?
So they could go to www.GAIAhome.com. GAIA is GAIA home.com. And they could reach out to us also at info@GAIAhome.com. And they could reach us at 321-456-9777. And these are free estimates that we give away for people to see if it makes sense or if it doesn't make sense. And we'll be 100% transparent with everybody.
Right. And there's a reason why on your FPL bill, you get this note, going solar. I mean, FPL is even encouraging people to go solar. I've shown you that. I get emails all the time. I passed US 1, a company who does electric is getting into solar. I mean, it's, yes. Yeah. I saw the big, you know, board and said solar, call us for your solar needs. But I think you are strictly doing solar, and that means a lot. You know, this is what you're concentrating on. You're the expert. So if people want to speak to an expert, they should definitely get in touch with one. And thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Clint.
There you go.